All right, I didn't discuss some aspect of social behavior. We discussed reciprocity, but we didn't discuss fairness. I want to actually go and give you that slide, those slides on fairness. So, get your clickers out. I'm going to ask you to predict what's going to happen in these particular situations. But okay, there's something called the ultimatum game. All right? And the way the game works is fairly simple, where the researcher or whomever will give one person an amount of money. So the researcher will give the person we're going to call the proposer an amount of money. Now, it doesn't matter how much it is. Technically it will matter how much it is. But for today, it's not going to matter how much it is. So let's say that I give Byron $100. Sweet, right? And all Byron has to do, he's going to be the proposer, is he has to split the money with someone. Let's see. What's your name again?
Jazz.
Jazz? Like?
Yes.
Okay. Keep that, right? Jazz is. All right. So he's going to give Jazz, he has to split the money with Jazz. So Jazz right now has no money at all from this exchange. So Byron has $100. So if he were to offer Jazz $1, should she take it? Or sorry, do you think she'll take the dollar? Because now she's $1 better off. A is yes, B is no. So I give Byron 100, tell him to split it. He goes, all right, Jazz, I'll give you $1. She's now $1 better off. Will she take the dollar?
Does she know Byron?
Yeah, she knows Byron. She knows the deal. She knows the score. So if that changes your answer, you should know a new button. A is yes, B is no. Will Jazz take the money? The survey says. Gets to work. No. Why not?
That's not right.
Okay. What do you mean? What do you mean she needs all that 50? It's your $100.
Yeah, but I have to split it. I have to.
You have to split. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Maybe this is going to affect y'all's answers. I mean, y'all guessed correctly in case it matters. But if Jazz refuses the offer, no one gets any money. All right. So now with that offer, we'll even up it. So yes, ma'am. You only offer once. All right. So here's the deal. So since that's not in there, I forgot to include that. You can give any amount of money to the responder. Make sure I have this as part of the rules. If the responder takes the money, the game's over. If the responder decides not to take the money, neither of them gets any money. All right, so let's do it again. We know she's not going to, or y'all believe she's not going to take $1, but here's the rules. Everyone knows. I'm going to give Byron $100. He has to divide up the money with Jazz. And how much money do you think, so A, B, C, D, E. We already know from y'all's votes that she's probably going to say no to $1. But where do you think she'll start saying yes on average? $10, $20, $30, $40, $50? Where do y'all think she's going to start saying yes? 'Cause remember, she has no money now. So any money, you're better off. Where is she going to start saying yes? If he offers her 10, will she say yes? 20, 30, 40? What? Okay. Yeah, like she has no money right now. So if he goes, hey, I'll give you 10, she's $10 better off. So in a sense, if you just walked up to me and say, would you like $10? Right? I'm not going to turn it down, let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Where do y'all think it's going to be? See what y'all's answers are. Y'all are actually fairly low on this one. We're gonna, y'all, believe it or not, at about 30%, she's probably still going to say no. Which is sort of weird because you can imagine that the amount, like if it were $1 million and I offered you $300,000, you're probably going to be okay with that, even knowing. But there seems to be this issue that, just going to get to the results, the rational responder should take, even if it's just $1, certainly should take 10, certainly should take 20, 30, even 40, But there appears to be something that matters more to Jazz than simply the amount of money she's getting. And that is this fair? We seem to think fairness, we tend to put fairness almost above even, you getting $30 free. Because you're thinking, yes, I got 30, but Myron got 70. That's not fair. So you're willing to punish him for not being fair by not taking the money, which I actually find is you have to get around 50% before you make this work. We tend to expect splits that are nearly equal. Now, you may be willing to give him 55%. But think about how weird that is, right? Jessica, you give me a weird...
I was just thinking about what I would do, and it's not something that's fair.
What do you mean?
I would ask for 60, like if you could ask, I would ask for 60, because without me saying yes, he doesn't get anything. So, I don't know what
Oh,
But that's
Wow.
you're not extremely unfair. You're not like
Yeah, it's
completely
still
screwing
reasonable.
both.
Yeah, it's so reasonable. I don't think the responder gets to ask you.
That's what I was thinking about, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that is a very good, then in that sense,
I've
he,
extorted him.
Yeah, he's not going to do it.
yeah, then he's basically you're becoming the proposer at that point, and he's becoming the responder in some way. But if you want to see if anyone's done that research, because that'd be an interesting manipulation to see, as far as I know, no one has ever done the research where he has the money, he has to do it, but you get to give a counteroffer first. But if anyone has, I'd certainly give that for extra credit. Because that's a good, because you could be like, hey, you're not going to get any. Unless we both
Better
agree
decide
to
to play ball.
Yeah. But it's most intriguing that really, from a rational economic perspective, you should accept the 10, but we go, that's not fair. I'm not going to take 10. I need somewhere in the neighborhood of half. All right. So I meant to mop up that. That was really at the end of the biology and culture section. My apologies. What I want to do is continue today and continue Wednesday giving big culture stuff. So we're going to look at ways in which culture in the large, culture in the macroscopic, influences your life. And your life in ways that you probably don't think about. They're not heinous. You're not sitting there, I hate culture. But it's ways in which culture affects your life. So let's start first with the calendar, right? Our culture tells us what is the rhythm of our life, right? Today's Monday. Every Monday, people post on their Facebook, "Oh, I hate Monday," right? It's always a sad cat. It's, oh, Monday, right? Right? So our lives have this rhythm that's been established by the calendar that we've set up, right? We have 5 work days and the weekend. Not you? Well, one day, hopefully you will. Or 5 school days and the weekend when you were back in high school, right? It's like, it's like, it's the weekend. We also have, if you start thinking about your calendar, they set up expectations about when holidays are coming, what events are on the calendar. So you think to yourself, okay, Valentine's is coming up, so you start thinking about that. Oh, spring break is in a month or so. Start thinking about that. And you start thinking about the terms of your calendar. Especially when you're in school, you think, okay, I go to school in the fall, in the winter, in the spring. And we just assume we're going to get them, the summer off. But having a summer off is really not necessary. It used to be necessary because we needed kids to do work. But now it's just bad. Bad news all the way around. But if you sort of think about it, that's become your rhythm. And when you get a job one day, guess what? Your job will not have that rhythm. You won't have conversations which are, what are you doing this semester? It's going to be, what are you doing the rest of your life? Seriously, that's what you have to look forward to. More motivational speaking later this month. So I work on an academic calendar where I get a chance to work on one topic for a period of time and then do something new. And so it's really very nice. And my friends will go, oh man, that is so great. And then they'll go, what are you doing? What are you taking this semester? What are you teaching? And they're like, what are you doing? They're like, the same thing that I've always done. So it's very different. We think of football season, hunting season. right? No one thinks of basketball season. I guess we think of March Madness. What else? What other seasons do we have? We have Talladega twice a year. Baseball season. Right? I think of camping season, right? I'm ready to get out camping again. I'm like, oh, it's too cold for me to camp. I want to go out. So what other seasons do we divide our Europe into? There's wedding seasons. Like when people are like, oh, everyone's getting married. You might think of special days on the calendar, special holy days, right? Is it just past, or are we coming up on the official Mardi Gras day?
It's coming up.
It's coming, is it Tuesday? Is it tomorrow?
It's next Tuesday.
It's the Tuesday after, right? So Fat Tuesday is coming up, the special holiday day, right? Holy Day. Or Christmas, or my birthday. You know, lots of special events on the calendar. It's special to me, man.
Hey, man, right on.
You know? So we think of culture-specific holidays, right? We don't celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving. We don't celebrate Chinese New Year. We celebrate the culturally specific important days. Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever. Right? These are all things that you know, but if you start thinking of it, it's like your calendar sort of structures your life, and your calendar comes from the outside. Other days that people think are important, right? People go their birthday, right? It's like, okay, we all get to celebrate our birthday. It's the only time you get messages on Facebook. Right? Seriously, it's like if you were to graph how many responses you got on Facebook, be like 000 birthday, 00000. We allow people to do this, you know. I really want to get started, and since this is being recorded, I'm especially going to, I want to start the 1,000,000,000 party. So far there's only been one offered, and it was very bad for me. But the day that you're 1,000,000,000 years old, anyone know when that is? About the time in your life? It's somewhere between 30 and 31 years, if I remember correctly. Is when you're about 1,000,000,000 seconds old. Is anyone about that age? So 30 in April, so somewhere around October. You can do a 1,000,000,000 calendar. A calculator, it'll calculate when you're going to be 1,000,000,000 seconds old. I would like to get this started because that's a long time. Because especially when like a politician will toss out terms like billion, trillion, like they mean the same thing, and they don't at all. So I think if people knew that 1,000,000,000 seconds was 30-something years, they would have a better appreciation for the number. So if you have one, invite me, man. I'll be there. I'll bring a present. We'll sing songs. Happy 1,000,000,000 seconds to you. You know what I mean? We'll make it work. This goes for the people at home too. That way I can meet you. Yeah, like a sweet 16, sweet 1,000,000,000 seconds. Woo! Yeah. That has less of a ring to it, doesn't it? It makes you sound ancient. I am well on the other side of my 1,000,000,000 seconds, by the way. All right, so that's one way in which your culture organizes you. It also gives you a life script, and your life script is the things that is the order and timing of things in your life. So if you think about your life script now, you might think, okay, in our culture, it's you go to school, elementary, middle, and high school. Then when you graduate high school, our life script says you go college. And then what happens after college?
Grad school.
Basically, you never leave school. Right? But okay, so it's like I'm going to leave school, then I'm going to get married, right? Well, obviously not me. You don't have to look at me that way. Then what? So, get married, late 20s, mid to late 20s, have some babies, and then they go to school, and then, the cycle repeats itself, right? That's sort of like our expectations about our general life script. So they include the relative timing of marriage, right? If I'm not mistaken, in Alabama, it's something like 27 years old for males, 25-ish for females.
It's that old.
Surprisingly. children. I know people who like scheduled it out. They're like, I want to have my first kid by the time I'm 30. I want to be married for at least a year. So that means I'm going to be married when I'm 29. I want to be dating for a year and a half. So that means I have to meet them when I'm 27. You know, oh yeah.
They're setting themselves up for a lot of disappointment.
You know, they may be, but they have. It's like okay. So I tend to be on the where I'm at the second marriage people. I'm like, oh, I missed the first round of them. I tell you, I'm like, oh, I missed the first round of marriages. Oh, sad for me. The type of living environment you see. One of my friends is getting divorced, and he borrowed my truck all weekend. So he's like, oh, I have to date again. And I'm like, lucky you. All right, so it's our expectations. Modern times two. One of my favorite examples of this in modern culture was a Danish woman was visiting the United States, and she